If you want to stop spending so much money on food every single month, there's one thing that you have to do.
Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to share a video that I found really interesting and useful about smart money management. Honestly, I think many of us are still wasting money without realizing it, so I am here to invite you to watch it with me and discover some valuable lessons and tips from the smart money management. And after watching the video, we will come back and share some thoughts together. Now let's get started.
What's your best budgeting advice?
If you're not going to buy it full price, don't buy it on sale.
Amen, sister.
There is nothing in the personal finance space that gets people more hot and bothered than this question. I absolutely loved this video from Michaela, and I just want to give my thoughts on it because this is something that I tell my clients to think about all the time. So I'm Paige. I am the founder of Overcoming Overspending, which is an online community where I give women the tools and coaching to stop impulse shopping, overspending, and sabotaging their finances through their spending habits. If there is one type of spending that my clients do that hurts their finances the most, it's something that I call sales spending. And sales spending is when the primary driver behind why you're buying what you're buying is the sale, the deal, or the discount. Everybody gets really hot and bothered by this because they're like, well, what do you mean? Are you telling me not to save money? Are you telling me that I should pay more than I should? And it's like, no, of course we're not saying that. Of course we want you to save money. Of course we don't want you paying more than you should. But let's be honest. How much spending do you actually do where it's the sale or the savings that's the primary driver behind you spending the money? Our brains are chemically programmed to respond to sales. When we get exposed to a sale, we get a huge hit of dopamine. We go into competitive mode, and the amygdala, the part of our brain that controls our fear response, lights up, and we go into loss aversion mode, essentially FOMO. So a lot of the spending that we do, it's not even about what we're buying. You could be buying a sack of potatoes, and if it's 50% off, you're like, yeah, I don't need a sack of potatoes, but it's 50% off, so let's get it. It's less about what you're buying, and it's more just about getting the dopamine rush of being able to swipe your credit card and get the high of the buy. This is why we all tell you to ask this question, because when you ask and answer the question, would I be willing to pay full price for this thing? Even though I don't have to, would I? Because when you ask that question, what happens is your focus goes back onto what you're buying, to the product, and to what you're actually having to spend versus simply just the deal, the savings, and the discount. So let's just say a $40 pair of leggings is 25% off. Asking myself the question, I get to pay $30 for these leggings, but if I had to, would I pay $40? If the answer to that question is no, then that's a clear indication to me that it's much less about the leggings I'm about to buy and the actual use and value I'm going to get out of them. And it's more about buying something that's 25% off and saving myself $10. So that's why we tell you to ask and answer this question. It's not because we want you paying more than you should or not saving money that you could be saving. Do this one last thing for me. Go to the area of your home where you keep all of your junk and all of your clutter. Maybe it's your basement, your attic, an overflow room. Go there and look at all of the stuff that you bought and you didn't get much use out of. And a common theme that I think a lot of you will see is that you bought a lot of those items solely because you could get a good deal on it. But just because you can get a good deal out of something doesn't mean it's a good deal for you. It's all about the use and the value that you're going to be getting out of something. It doesn't matter if you can get something 50% off. If you're not going to use it, or you're only going to use it once and then it's going to wind up underneath your bathroom sink, who really won in that scenario? You or the retailer? If you are struggling with your spending habits, give me a follow. I am here to help you. You can also start with the free masterclass in my bio all about why you impulse shop and how to stop. Love y'all. Bye. If you want to stop spending so much money on food every single month, there's one thing that you have to do. It's going to sound a little obvious, but trust me, this is more common than you think. And I know that a lot of you are going to watch this and realize that you absolutely do this. I'm Paige. I'm the founder of Overcoming Overspending. I help you stop impulse shopping and overspending. Food is definitely the category that I feel people come to me and they're like, I need so much help in this area in terms of overspending. And trust me, it's the area I struggle with the most as well. My husband and I went through a phase where we were eating out every single meal, almost 5 to 7 days a week. We were spending so much money eating out. And then we were able to drastically switch that, and we didn't eat out a single time for 4 months. Now, I'm going to be giving you more tips of how we did that and what was most helpful in a video that I'm going to post tomorrow. But for now, here is the one thing that you have to stop doing. You have to start being honest with yourself, and you have to stop double dipping. Here's what I mean. I think so many of us think that the thing that we should be doing is we should be eating at home. We think that we should be cooking our own meals and eating at home because that's what's most cost effective. But I honestly think what's most cost effective really depends per person and per situation. I think that if you have a family of 5, cooking at home definitely might be the most cost effective option. I think that if you are single and you're just eating for you and you have a really busy schedule, eating at home might not be the most cost effective option, especially with inflation and the cost of groceries right now. I think there's also definitely a factor of what is your time worth. And if you want to take the extra time that comes with cooking your meals at home from shopping and preparing and cleaning, or if you want to save yourself that time from not having to do all of that from eating out. But I say that because I think the idea that most of us have in our head is that we should be eating at home because that's the most financially responsible thing to do. What a lot of us do is on Sunday, we will go to the grocery store and we will buy a week's worth of groceries for meals that we promise ourselves that we are going to cook and eat at home. But really, when it comes down to it, we just prefer eating out. It works better with our schedules. It works better with our lifestyles. So although we said we were going to eat in, that's not what ends up happening. So this is what I mean by double dipping. You are spending a ton of money on groceries, but you are also spending a ton of money eating out. And one of the best things that a lot of you can do is just pick a side and just go into a week being honest with yourself. I think that change is possible, and I think that you can absolutely get yourself to a point where you're eating out a ton to where you're not eating out a ton. But oftentimes those changes do not happen overnight. It takes a gradual increase to get there. But we get trapped in the all or nothing thinking. We think, okay, I'm eating out 5 nights a week now, and next week I'm only going to eat out 1 night a week. So we go and spend a ton of money on groceries, and then we still end up eating out 5 nights a week. I think for a lot of you, if you can just go into a week being honest with yourself, being realistic about your situation and most likely what's going to happen, you will save yourself so much money. Pick where you want your money to go. Do you want your money to go to groceries or do you want your money to go to eating out? And it doesn't mean it all has to be one or the other. It certainly can be a mix. It just means that it's not going to both for overlapping meals. We're not buying groceries for a meal that ultimately we end up eating out. I know this tip seems a little obvious, but I'm telling you, when I get my clients just to be honest, to be realistic, and to decide ahead of time, like most likely what's going to happen, they end up saving themselves so much money on food. So again, tomorrow I'll be posting a video about if you do have a desire to eat more at home, what was most helpful for us to do that. In the meantime, I invite you to come join my community. You can do that by giving me a follow and also go to my profile, start with all of my free resources. I have a free masterclass that's called Why You Impulse Shop and How to Stop. I also have a podcast with well over 100 episodes that you can start listening to. It's called the Money Love Podcast, and you can find it anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. All right, y'all, I love you. I will see you in the next video.
Okay, right. So after watching these 2 videos, I have to be honest, many people are wasting money while thinking they're saving. Buying something just because it is on sale? You guys have to wake up. A 50% discount on something you don't even need. And the real winner is not you, but the store. And what about buying groceries at home while still eating out? This is stupid spending behavior that many people repeat, convincing themselves that they are being smart. But the truth is, you're throwing money out of the window. I want to challenge you all that you need to answer those questions yourself. Does a sale really help you save money, or is it just a dopamine trap? Or who has ever bought something on sale and never even used it? And who's double dipping with food, buying groceries, and still eating out while probably thinking they're saving? You can comment down below and you share your story. And don't be afraid to share your stories, because I know some of you might think that there's some mistakes between people's ideas, but take a heart. But you need to have a positive approach to everybody's point of view. So if you want to learn more about how to spend money wisely while still enjoying life, you can hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on these super practical tips in the future. And that's it for our videos today. See you in the next one. Bye.